Hi everyone, welcome to Crystal Crucible. Today we're going to learn how to make a character and play around. So character creation is really done in 4 steps. You select your species, then your birth sign, and then your martial art, and then your magic art. So I'm going to select my species now. We've got Arana right here. So that'll give you a passive bonus. Then you select your birth sign. I want to be Janfrit because Janfrit is good at magic and using weapons. And as you can see, these cards right here have stats on them. Each birth sign comes with a special spell card. These are called memory cards. These are your spells and your skills. So I'm going to take that. Now I'm going to select Fencer as my martial art, and this also has stats on the back. Each martial art has the choice of 3 discipline cards. These will give you a passive bonus. I want to be a swashbuckler, so I'm going to take that. Put those back. And then each martial art has 5 memory cards that go with it. These are your skills from your martial art. So I'm going to take those. Now I'm going to select my magic art, and this is Kalemancer. They use storms and ice and stuff like that to freeze their enemies in the battlefield. Each magic art comes with 10 different spells. So I'm going to take those. And each magic art has its choice of 3 different packs. Those give you a passive bonus as well. So I want to be a Spire Nomad. So I'm going to take that. And then last but not least, you are going to select from a variety of heirloom cards. These heirloom cards are different bonuses. You select them at the beginning of every single game. They're completely random, so you never know what you're gonna get. So let's find out. We've got an Iron Mask, which you add 1 to vitality rolls, so that's pretty good. So that's character creation right there. Now, the way that you set up your board, so first things first, after you've created your character, is you're going to want to take your memory cards and shuffle them up a little bit. And then you take your character board from your martial art, your character board from your birth sign, and then you take those 4 vertical cards that you selected. You've got your species, your discipline, your pact, and your heirloom, and you just put those right down here. And then the game has use counters, so this is just the back of it, but you use these to keep track of how many uses your memory cards have. So for example, here we have a Kalemancer spell. It's called Frost Cloak, and it has 3 uses, so we're gonna put it right here when we're actually using it. And as you use it, you would just move it down to 2 to keep track of its uses, and you can do it like that. So the last thing that we need to do is choose 3 of our core memories. Your core memories stick with your character. That is because in this game, your characters can actually die, and they will resurrect. We'll get to that in just a moment. So I'm going to select Squall and Parry and Ice Spear as my 3 core memories. And then I'm just going to shuffle this up again really quickly. And that's it, I'm done. My character is created. There are over 100,000 character combinations in this game, so you'll never get bored. I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way so you can see the game board and how that works. So this is the Crystal Crucible game board. You've got a couple different things that you need to pay attention to. So up here, you've got a key for what each tile does. Each tile has a particular effect. You also have your monster stats if you're fighting the monster. This will let you know what rolls you need to beat, and this helps speed things up so you don't have to roll for the monster. Crystal Crucible is a DM-less game. There is no DM or GM or anything like that, so it uses cards to randomize everything. These are your monster cards. They dictate what actions the monster takes. They'll tell you what its roll is for each particular card. This is at a normal roll or advantage, and this lower number here is if it's at disadvantage. You also have environment cards in addition to monster cards. So your environment cards include things like the minions that populate in this area, as well as different things that happen to your character when you move to different tiles. So for example, here we got lucky and we found an item. It's called lead powder, and it takes away a negative effect from your character when you use it. So environmental can either be you slip and fall in the mud, or you find a potion, or anything in between. And a lot of times, worse things than that. Crystal Crucible is really made to be challenging because you can play it between 1 to 6 players. So we made it as challenging as possible while still being fair. So let's just get to it. Let's start playing. We're going to take our monster tile and we're going to lay it down right here. Now your character is going to start out at one of these crystals here. Just for ease of your viewing, I'm going to start at this one. Now I have 4 reflexes, which means that I can start up to 4 tiles away from this chrysalis right here. Now when you die, you lose all of your currently equipped memory cards, which would be on this use counter, except for your 3 core memories. And when you do die and you resurrect, you would resurrect at one of these chrysalises. If you don't have any memory cards from your memory card deck to draw, you cannot resurrect. So that is actually how you die in this game. When you drop down to 0 health, that is not the end. It's when you run out of memories and forget who you are that you lose all sense of purpose and you can no longer play. So let's go ahead and get started. Turn progression is written down here at the bottom of each map. So it's broken into your starting phase, your action phase, your draw phase, your end phase. And then if you are fighting against a monster, you draw a monster card in between every single player's turn. So your starting phase, you add your faith to your MP. So this number right here underneath your MP is your faith, and you only add that number if you did not cast a spell on your most recent turn. Now, obviously I just started, so my MP is at full, so I don't need to worry about that. Next, you're gonna use one action's RPT and/or move. So RPT stands for rolls per turn, and each action, whether it is a weapon, an item, a spell, or whatever, has an RPT. So if I want to use my rapier, I can use it twice as one action. Or if I want to cast a spell, for example, if I wanted to use Ice Spear, it has an RPT of 1, so I can roll it 1 time as an action. So I'm actually going to use Ice Spear, and I am going to move into range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiles away, so I'm actually in range because it has a range of 10. And I am going to look at my character board and figure out what of these dice I'm going to use for my spell roll. So, Ice Spear uses a spirit roll, so I'm going to take my spirit dice, which is a D8. I'm going to go ahead and roll. So I rolled a 1, unfortunately, which means that I miss. I'm going to finish out my turn by moving. I want to get out of this tile, so I'm going to move 1, 2. Now that I have moved to a new tile, I'm going to draw an environment card. This card is Twin Call of Gello Spear. I have to attempt a resolve roll against a value. That value is 6. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out what my resolve is. And that is a D10. So I'm going to take a D10. I'm going to roll it. And I rolled a 2. So I fail on that as well. So according to the card, my character is now frightened for 2 turns, which means that I cannot move closer to the carcoal. Now, this number right here on the top right is a 3. That is a very important number. That is your mementos. You use mementos to purchase cards, your memory cards. As you can see here, this has a 4. So I would require 4 mementos to equip it. Now, I'm going to bring my use counter up really quick, and this is down to 2 now. So I want to equip this card, so I'm going to spend the mementos. I started out with 1 mementos, and I got 3 from this card. So I can equip this card. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to find out that it's Blizzard. So I will equip Blizzard down here at 2 uses. And that is how you buy and equip memory cards. After you've spent the mementos necessary to equip it, you would reduce your mementos down to 1, or whatever the value is, and then you would end your turn. And your end phase is setting a stance. So at the end of every turn, you have the option of setting 5 different stances. You can choose to brace, aim, charge, guard, or focus. Each one affects a different roll that corresponds with it. So for example, if I was to attempt a brace roll, what would happen is on my next either resilience, fortitude, or resolve roll, I would add the value of my brace roll. So because my vitality is a D4, I'm going to go ahead and roll a D4. I add a 1 to my next either resilience, fortitude, or resolve roll. Now it is the monster's turn. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a monster card. This is Excrete. So the carcoal serves as a 4x4 tile area that causes all occupying targets to attempt a resilience roll against Excrete's value. Luckily, I'm not in this area, but we'll just go ahead and for sake of showing, I'll put my character in that area. So what I would do now is place this card here, and I'm going to go ahead and attempt a resilience roll, which is dictated by my vitality, which is a D4. So I'm going to remember that I rolled a 1 on my last brace roll, and I'm going to add that to it. Unfortunately, there's no way that I'll be able to make it, so I still fail. And after you have finished the monster's turn, you're going to go back to your starting phase. And that is a round. Thank you so much for watching. There is going to be more content soon, and we really, really are excited to get this game out. If you have any questions or anything like that, please let me know, and I'd be more than happy to talk. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. See you at the table.